A few days ago, I broke NBA 2K24 by putting out a build that would ruin 2K. Needless to say, the build has not only lived up to my expectations, but it superseded them. After hours and hours of labbing in the builder, throwing money at different builds, testing badges, attribute caps, and various animations, I came to the decision that this was the build for me. But I had no idea how much damage this build could really do across each and every game mode in 2K. You see, when I created this build, it was for the sole purpose that I was going to play twos. I've been playing a lot of twos since NBA 2K24 came out, and majority of my builds were not designed to play twos because I didn't really play them in previous 2Ks. I wanted to be on a 6'6" build where I could pull up on streamers. If you guys want to see a video like that, smash the like button, and stream park without any fear of being dropped off. For those of you guys who play twos, you know how rough it can be. If you miss one shot, the game can literally be over. So I created this build and stepped into the park and started doing exactly what I thought I was going to do. I was absolutely dominating on the twos courts without any effort, mindlessly ripping off win streak after win streak as if the build was maxed. And again, I'm doing this as a rebirth 90 overall with all bronze and silver badges. But this is where things took a twist that I never saw coming. You see, I've been playing NBA 2K for years. I started back in NBA 2K5 with Ben Wallace on the cover. And being that I've been playing the game for so long, I know how unrealistic it is to think that you can create a guard build that dominates across all game modes. Think about it. Typically, in order to dominate a game mode like Pro-Am, you'd have to be on a short guard with high ball handling, high 3-point rating, and things that typically bigger guards do not have. The same can be said for Park, where you've seen the most wild and crazy lineup combinations out there. The game mode was always dominated by slashers, or big 6'8" guards, stretch bigs, etc. Weird lineups such as a lock and post score that go crazy in twos are never viable in threes or fives. So again, when I created this build, it was for the sole purpose of dominating the twos court. But then I stepped onto threes, and I started to notice things. I noticed how I was getting ripped equally as much on my small guard as I was on my 6'6". I noticed how for the first time ever in 2K history, the contest system actually rewarded me for being bigger, punishing players for playing defense with their hands down or actually not being in space. I noticed that ghost contests weren't as heavy on these bigger players. On a small player, if somebody's behind you, it's a 20%. On this type of player, when someone's behind me, I don't even see him. And now at this point, keep in mind, I dominated twos and I'm dominating threes. So I'm dominating game modes that I've always dominated. So it was surprising, but not as surprising as it was soon to get. Because when I took this build into Pro-Am for the first time, I had no idea what to expect. Again, I'm on a 6'6" build, and it was something that at the time, nobody was really running. But when I fired up and I walked out into Pro-Am and dropped 50 in my first competitive game, that was not clickbait, by the way. The first time I ever walked into the Pro-Am arena for a 5v5 game, I dropped 50, and I knew I struck gold at that point. So since I dropped that video, you guys watched the video and saw I had all bronze and silver badges. Now I've started to max my badges out and get my overall up. And needless to say, I didn't think that this build was going to get any better, but every single time I load the game up, this build shocks me with how crazily it plays. Because you see, there is literally not one weakness in the build, okay? There is not one thing that this build is bad at. When I was reading the comments, there was a lot of skepticism about the low driving dunk, and there was a lot of skepticism about the low pass accuracy. And I told people from the video, and I told people in the comment section, I said, listen guys, I get it. I know it sounds wild. Believe me, if somebody told me that these things would work before the game dropped, I would think that it was crazy too. But I told people, I said, look, come to my streams and you guys are going to see on a day in and day out basis how nasty this build is and how these things that you guys are concerned with are something that you don't need to be concerned about. And I can genuinely say that after playing on this build for about a week now, I have found no weakness in it. My player is passing the ball like none other. I'm telling you, when people are watching my streams and they're watching me play and they don't know my pass accuracy, they think I'm playing on a build with high pass accuracy. When I tell them that it's a 63, they legitimately do not believe me. And again, in the video where I said, you can shoot from deep like Steph Curry and fade threes like Trae Young, I wasn't dragging it. And I'm telling you guys right now, ever since I've gotten my badges, it's only gotten scarier. The defense is ridiculous and the offense is ridiculous. There's not a lot of builds out there, guys. And the beauty of this build, the actual beauty, the part that I didn't even talk about in the last video, the best part of the build is that it's a build that is not going to get patched. It's only going to get better. And you see, this is where you go, if you're watching the video, you go, Choc, why do you say that? How is this build going to get better? Every decision that was put in into this build was made on the basis preparing for patches and expecting patches at some point to come. You see, I could have easily jumped on the hype train and said, hey guys, let's go low perimeter and let's go ahead and get that Hall of Fame right stick ripper since plucks are so OP, right? But think about it, guys. Use your brain and think for a second. Do you really think that 2K is going to let steals be like this the entire year? Think back to last year, okay? Think back to 2K23. There was a major problem with the steals. And then guess what? As time went on, as people started to complain, as casuals learned about it, because this is how it works. In the competitive scene, we find out first. We complain first, the casuals don't understand it. But then as time goes on, and the casuals who have been watching the highest level of players play start learning what the highest level of players that are playing are doing, and they start adapting it for themselves, the casual side then gets to experience the problems that the comp side is experiencing, which is the cycle that you guys saw in NBA 2K23, where finally everybody had high steal and everybody was just tearing it off of their opponent, okay? Everybody was stealing the ball. It was absolutely insane. I was getting graded out by absolute randoms. It was nuts. So you think that they fixed that last year and that they're not going to fix it this year? They've already talked about fixing it. Baluba's already tweeted about fixing steals and working on different things that the game needs to be fixed in. But guess what? We're not patchable. Let's break down the build real quick. You have high standing dunk. You have a good enough driving dunk to get the driving dunk packages off one. You can't change attribute thresholds. Let's go ahead and get one thing clear. That can't change. So your dunk is not going to get patched. You can't get patched on dunking. The same thought process can be applied when we're talking about playmaking. How exactly would you patch the playmaking? You can't. You have all the thresholds to get good ball handling, and they're not going to change the pass speed. That's something that doesn't even make any sense. It's not going to be something where you see that they change the pass speeds and they say, hey, because listen, unless you're watching my channel, nobody really knows how OP 63 pass accuracy is. Every time I tell somebody what my pass accuracy is, they're baffled. So not a lot of people know about that. And if they somehow patch 63 pass accuracy, which I don't think is physically possible, but if they did, consider it a direct shot at me because they don't rock with me. On the shooting perspective, we can only get better because right now we have a 93.3 and Limitless doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. So the fact that Limitless range isn't working, this build's not going to become a worse shooter. In fact, it's only going to become a better shooter as Limitless gets fixed and we can extend our range. Imagine this build when you can actually shoot from stupid range. Think about it for a second. Limitless badge isn't working the way that it should. When it's finally fixed and this build can extend and shoot from deeper than it's shooting currently, you think the build's going to get worse? And then on the defensive end, like I said, the only patch that I foresee coming anytime soon is them to fix Limitless and them to either buff Unpluckable or nerf steals. And guess what, guys? We're already prepared for that because we have gold badges. So we're still going to get steals. We have the gold glove, we have the gold right stick ripper, and the gold interceptor. But now, unlike all these other people who are just making these builds to get steals, we have a 94 perimeter, which means that we are essentially a lockdown defender. So even if steals became useless, let's say Baluba wakes up tomorrow, he's at his computer, he goes, you know what guys, I just want to ruin steals, and he patches them. Let's say he just completely patches steals. Guess what? You are still solid because you have a build with high perimeter. And guess what they did do, by the way? Since I dropped this video, guess a change they did make to make the build even better. They fixed a problem where perimeter defense wasn't linked to your lateral quickness. So now it is. So now you have a 94 lateral quickness, by the way. But I digress. Like I said, this build is only getting better. You're fast. You can do everything. You are an all-around nightmare for anybody that you're matching up with in this game. Something I've really been considering doing is kind of dropping a video on teaching people how to score. I want to teach you guys everything that I know about this game. Like I said in the last video, that's the objective of this channel, which is why I'm not gatekeeping anything. What would have been much easier for me to do, guys, is to make a build similar to mine and have the pass accuracy higher so people don't understand how OP 63 is. Because guess what? Don't think you're not going to see other YouTubers start doing that and not give me the credit where it's due. That's all I'm going to say. So it would have been very easy for me to gatekeep and not show certain things and not teach certain things, but that's not what this channel is about, fellas. That's not what this channel is about. So look, I have some absolute banger videos coming, so I need you guys to do me a favor. Number one, I need you guys to turn the post notifications on so you guys don't miss any of the classic videos that I'm going to drop that are going to help make you better at the game. But if you guys want to see a scoring guide, if you guys want to see a video that just breaks down everything that goes on in my mind and I teach you guys how to be as effective as you can on a build like this, let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know what you want to see on the channel in general, and I'll do my best to get it up for you guys. I want to bring you guys content that you want to see and content that you guys enjoy. So let me know how I can make the videos better or how I can help in any way, shape, or form, and I'd love to. Listen, now I appreciate you guys for watching. If you guys did happen to make the build and it's been working out for you, let me know in the comment section. It makes me smile to read the comments and people saying, yo, Choc, your builds have really been helping me. So I appreciate all the comments and all the feedback. Love you guys. As always, your boy Choc. Stay tuned for more, and I'm out. Peace.